Hello, my name's Mary Coop, and I'm going to share something that has been life-changing for my husband and I's family. My story starts 8 years ago. I was selling cars for CarMax and absolutely loved my job. And every year they would send you for your annual physical. So I went for my physical. I felt fine. And the doctor said, you need to see a specialist. And I was very surprised. And they sent me to a specialist. The specialist ran all kinds of tests. And he walked in the room and he said, well, it's metastasized in your pelvis. And I go, are you talking about cancer? He said, yes. I said, well, I feel perfectly fine. What if I choose to do nothing? He says, lady, you got less than a year to live. Call your children, and walked out of the room. I absolutely felt like somebody walked in the room and sucker punched me and left. So my journey begins. What I'm about to share with you is my journey and my story. This is not meant to treat, cure, or mitigate anything, but I'm going to share with you a story about a little yellow pill that has changed my life. After that, my grandchildren started begging me, Grandma, please do something, have chemo. Well, I didn't really want to do that, but I also didn't want my grandchildren to feel like I was a quitter. So I found a doctor and I started extreme chemo twice a week with steroids for 4 months, only to be told that I couldn't have any more chemo and that I had bought myself 3 months. Now I'm really discouraged. So they send me to Menorah Hospital and they tell me they want to give me this drug. And I didn't realize or didn't think about any ramifications of this drug, so I went alone. They give me a dose. They sent me home with 3 days worth. And I'm driving home on 435, which is a major freeway in Kansas City. And I went blind in the middle lane. I got off the road and had to sit for 2 hours. The next day, I wake up and I have neuropathy hit my feet so bad that I can't stand or walk. The third day, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with severe chest pains, so I decided to get that piece of paper out that said all the possible side effects and read it. Second one on the list was a heart attack, and I thought, oh my God, these people are going to kill me. I woke my husband up and I said, Galen, I want you to know I think I'm getting ready to go home and be with Jesus. Of course, he wanted to take me to the hospital, and I said, you know, I've been at that hospital so much for the last 5 months, I don't want to die there. Well, the next morning I was still alive, so I called the pharmacy, and I said, listen, will you check my dose? Something's got to be wrong. I hear the guy walk away from the phone, and then I hear him say, oh my God, it's a wonder the doctor hasn't killed this woman. Well, I'm thinking, are they talking about me? And then this other guy chimes in and says, I've never known anybody right out of the gate on this big of a dose that has lived to talk about it. I heard him walking back to the phone, and when they got close to the phone, I heard him swear. It was the O-S-H-I-T word, and I thought, oh my Lord. He thought that phone was muted. So I said to him, how much am I supposed to be on? Oh, whatever the doctor told you. I said, well, let's play this game different. If there was 100 people in the room, how many would be on what dose? He said, well, you're on 25 milligram. There's 20, there's 15, there's 10, and there's 5. The majority would be on 5 and a handful on 10. I thought, oh, good Lord, I'm not taking any more of this. So I called my oncologist, left a message, which he didn't call me back. On 2 weeks later, I go in for my appointment, and he says, here, you called the pharmacy. Now, the only way he knew that is the pharmacy had called him. I said, yes, I was having terrible side effects. He said, tell you what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you a month off. And then I'm probably going to put you on 5 milligram. I felt totally betrayed. But now you got to realize I'm down to the last 6 months of what they've told me I have. And I'm really discouraged. And I began to pray. I said, Lord, if I'm going to survive this, I need your help, and I need to find a natural product that's going to heal the holes in my bones. I had been diagnosed with final stage multimyeloma. It's a blood cancer that eats big holes in your bones. I had 36 holes in my bones. It ate my jawbone. I lost all my top teeth and most of my bottom teeth. I had 15 holes in my skull. I had 3 huge holes across my low back, but a total of 36. And so I was very, very discouraged at this point. And when I left, I began to pray. And I'm going to give you the shortest version I possibly can, but on day 5, I had a miracle happen. I had met a guy at the Home Depot 3 years earlier, and he and his wife were missionaries, and they just got home from England. And he shared with me that night about several stories that he and his wife had encountered with Christ. I left there thinking, what on earth was that all about? So fast forward 3 years, day 5 of me praying, Lord, please help me find something natural that will heal my body, or I'm not going to survive. My phone rings, and this guy goes, "This Mary Coop?" I said, "Yes." And he says, "You probably don't remember me, but this is Mark." And I go, "You're the dude from Home Depot." And he said, "Yes." He says, "You've been on my heart heavy for 5 days. I said, "Mark, I'm battling final stage cancer, and I'm down to the last 6 months of my life." He says, "You know, my mother-in-law is a cancer survivor, and a year ago she found an all-natural product that changed her life." I said, "Have her call me." So to make a very long story short, she took me to lunch the next day, and she shared with me this product that she had found. And I was just so blown away, because as she shared, I realized there was hope for me. So I left that meeting, and I was excited. It was a Wednesday night before Easter, so we went to church that night, and we decided to clean the nursery, because you get a lot of seasonal Christians that come at Christmas and Easter. And I'm sitting on the floor of the nursery, wiping toys, throwing away toys, telling everybody in there this entire story. And I was so excited about the possibility that I might not have to die. And my pastor goes, "Mary, I want to know about this product. I have sugar diabetes and high blood pressure." His brother says, "I've got final stage melanoma cancer. Somebody else had rheumatoid arthritis. Somebody else had hepatitis. Somebody else had migraines." And I'm thinking, good Lord, place is falling apart. I said, "You guys, I barely know this woman. I've had lunch with her once." They said, "Call her, see if she'll meet with us. We want to know about it." So I called her and I said, "Jackie, my church friends want to meet you." And she said, "When?" And I said, "Tomorrow." She said, "I'll call you back." Well, she ended up coming to my house. She showed the ABC Primetime investigative report on this product. And she talked about all the things that this product had done for her and her family and friends. And she told about all the different studies, which on PubMed there's 25 published studies. At the time, I think there were 11. And she talked about the American Heart Association and how they had paid for 2 studies. And I was so excited about all this, but we were broke. We had literally went through $20,000 of savings in 4 months. Every credit card I had was maxed out. We were looking to lose our home that we'd lived in for 17 years. And we're not young. And the thought of all this just totally was overwhelming. And she said, "Well, Mary, you know, if you pre-sold these like Girl Scout cookies, you could actually become a distributor." And I'm thinking, what part of this picture is she not getting? I have been given a death sentence. I have just a few months left to live, and you're talking about going into business with me? And I said, "Listen, I just have to get well." She said, "Well, how many of you guys out there are going to buy bottles tonight?" There was exactly 13 bottles, and that was exactly at the time how many you needed to become a distributor. So she said, I said, "Okay, sign my husband up. He's never sold anything in his life, but sign my husband up. And I am going to get well." Well, she gave me a bottle. On day 3, my chemo fog lifted. On day 5, the neuropathy in my legs went away. On day 8, the neuropathy in my feet went away. I felt amazing. I still looked absolutely dreadful. I looked like warmed over death. But I started feeling good. I was sleeping, had energy. I quit worrying about life. And to me, I was so excited about it. When I went in to see my oncologist, my old one had retired, and the new one said to me, he's looking at my blood work, and he's looking at me, and he's looking at my blood work, and he says, why aren't we doing a stem cell transplant on you? I said, well, I was told I'm not a candidate. And he kept reading. He says, you're right, you're not a candidate. You've got 36 major holes in your bones. It would take 2.5 years for those holes to heal, and you've only got a few months left. But I've never seen blood work on somebody in final stage cancer look like this. He said, I'm going to order a skeletal x-ray. Don't get your hopes up. Every single hole in my body had healed, so I was able to go through a stem cell. Now, you guys, a stem cell is a 120-day fight for your life, and it is the hardest thing I have ever been through. But when I woke up on the other end, some amazing things had happened. All of those people that had bought bottles that night had all become distributors, because every one of them had amazing stories. My pastor went from 6 prescription drugs to a half a pill. His sugar diabetes normalized, his high blood pressure normalized, his cholesterol had dropped. His brother is still in remission 7 years later from something that he wasn't supposed to survive through. The friend of mine that had rheumatoid arthritis had quit work. He was in so much pain. I knew him from Home Depot. He actually, after 30 days, went back to construction work and has worked construction ever since. The person that had hepatitis, they couldn't find it anymore, so they decided it must have been a mistake. The person with migraines is one of my closest friends, and she has not had a migraine for 7 years. So I tell people, this little yellow pill has changed my life and all of my friends' life. And the other thing that happened, when I woke up, all those people, I had about 1,000 people in my back office that was customers, and I thought, this stuff must really work. So it's just been a huge blessing, and I hope that this video that we made is going to bless your life and your family's life, and I hope it saves somebody's life. And so on that, I want to wish all of you well, and thank you for listening.